Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the fourth lecture of this course, Semantics and Pragmatics. As we mentioned in the previous lecture, we talked about two types of relations, paradigmatic and syntagmatic relations, and we mentioned an example of paradigmatic relations in the previous lecture, which was semantic field. In this lecture, we're going to talk about an example of syntagmatic relations, which is collocation. So as I said, this is basically what I just said. So in the previous lecture we mentioned that semantic field theory is essentially part of or related to paradigmatic relations. We're looking at different units, different linguistic units in a vertical way. We call this paradigmatic relation. Another important type of relations that we need to recognize is the syntagmatic relations between words like bite and teeth, bark and dog, blonde and hair. So these appear usually together, they co-occur together, and there is a type of relationship between them, and because this relationship is horizontal, we call it a syntagmatic relation. We notice that from these examples that words tend to keep company and appear together. So you'd usually see blonde used with hair, you'd usually see bark used with dog, you'd usually see bite used with teeth, and also sometimes if I tell you one word, it might remind you of the other. So if I tell you bite, you might remember teeth. If I tell you blonde, you might remember hair, and so on. We notice in these examples that certain words, as I said, tend to appear or keep company together. This keeping company is what we call in semantics collocation. So collocation can be seen as part of the meaning of a word. So this is of course something that we can argue. It's part of the meaning of words. By looking at the linguistic context of words, we can often distinguish between different meanings. So we can look at, for example, a word like chair in examples like sat in a chair, or the baby's high chair, or the chair of philosophy, or has accepted a university chair, or the chairman of the meeting, or he will chair the meeting, or the electric chair, or condemned to the chair. So here we use chair in different phrases, and by looking at the words in which it co-occurs with, we can guess its meaning. So this is an evidence that by looking at what words keep company with each other, we can tell that this word means this, or this word means this meaning, and so on. So we notice that, of course, sat in a chair and the baby's high chair, this is the object, a chair. The chair of philosophy and has accepted university chair is, of course, not an actual chair. It's a chair in a university, in a department in a university. The chairman or the chair of the meeting, it's like the head of the meeting. The electric chair, and of course someone who is condemned to a chair. The word condemned gives us a clue that this is the electric chair used in execution for prison. So these are different meanings of chair, and these are in pairs, of course. They give us four different meanings of the word. How did we recognize the meaning? By looking at which words that co-occur with the word chair. So if we see it with meeting, we know this is a certain meaning. If we see it with electric, we know that this is another different meaning. So the above examples help to illustrate first argument, which was published in a book in 1951. You shall know a word by the company it keeps. So you recognize a word like chair by looking at the company it keeps, by looking at other words that it co-occurs with. And this is basically what we call collocation. We have different types of collocational restrictions. So restrictions on how words appear together, or why they appear together. So here we'll discuss three types of these restrictions that result in collocation of the collocation of words in a language. The first type is that collocations or collocational restrictions are based on the meaning of an item. So look at this example, bite and teeth, the one that we mentioned previously. So meaning explains this collocation to us. So if we know the meaning of bite, if we know the meaning of teeth, we know that why they come with each other, and they co-occur frequently with each other. Based on their meaning, we understood this collocational restriction. Also, meaning explains why some collocations are unlikely. We are unlikely to see things like green cow. So it's really rare to see green cow, or there might not even be a green cow. So collocational restrictions like green cow are unlikely, and this is based on meaning. We know the meaning of green, we know the meaning of cow, and so the likeliness of them appearing together is not as frequent as bite and teeth. Words also can have a more specific meaning in particular collocations. So in particular collocations, a word might even change. The meaning of the word can change completely. So look at this example. We can say abnormal weather or exceptional weather if we have, for example, a heat wave in winter. But we can't say an exceptional child and an abnormal child at the same time. So an abnormal weather and exceptional weather can be both used together. So abnormal and exceptional, when they co-occur with weather, they have the same meaning. But exceptional and abnormal, when they appear with child, they have different meaning. So in this second example, exceptional will mean greater than usual ability. You say an exceptional child, so he has greater than usual ability compared to other children. But when you say abnormal child, this means that the child has some kind of defect. So this abnormal here refers to defect. So just to repeat this, abnormal and exceptional, when they appear with weather, have a specific meaning, and when they appear with child, their meaning will change. And this is an example of how words have specific meaning in particular collocations. The second type of collocation restrictions is that is based on range. So a word can be used with a number of other words that have some semantic feature in common. So we can say this word can be used with words that have a semantic feature in common, like animals. So words that have this semantic feature in common, like animals, for example, or trees, or any other words that have this a common semantic feature, we say, well, this word can be used with this group of words that have this common semantic feature. So meaning is not involved here. We just look at words that have a common semantic feature, and then we see which other words they come together with and co-occur with. And this is what we call range. So we don't look at meaning, we just look at these words that are grouped together and how they come and occur with other words. Also, we find that individual words or sequences of words will not collocate with certain groups of words. So some words will not appear with animal names, for example. Some words will not appear with names for trees, and so on. So this is, of course, as we said, called range. So looking at the range, we know roughly the kind of noun, of course in terms of their meaning, with which a verb or adjective may be used. So we say this word, regardless of its meaning, can only be used with these nouns that have this meaning in common. So this word can be used with all the nouns that refer to animals, or all the nouns that refer to trees, and so on. Let's look at an example to make this clearer. So we have a word for shrub, a kind of shrubs called rhododendron. When we can say the rhododendron died, but we cannot say the rhododendron passed away. So rhododendron can appear with died, but cannot appear with passed away. So if we look at pass away and die, they both have basically the same meaning. So we understand now that meaning is not involved here. The difference between pass away and die have something else that other than meaning, that prevents them from appearing with names for shrubs like rhododendron. So we should not use pass away with the names of any shrubs. So we have shrubs, they have a common semantic feature, and this is why we do not use pass away with them. But we can use die with these words. So it is not very plausible to say that pass away indicates a special kind of dying. So there is pass away doesn't really have any difference from die. But it is not used because it belongs. It is usually not used with words in a particular range. So this restriction is rather a restriction on its use with a group of words that are semantically related, which are words that are related, for example, shrubs. So shrubs, an example of shrubs is rhododendron, and this word cannot be used with pass away, and also other names for shrubs. Range, of course, accounts for the unlikeliness of collocations like the rhododendron passed away, like I just said. In cases like this, we do not reject specific collocations simply because we have never heard of them before. So maybe you have never heard of the word rhododendron before, but if you know, look up its meaning and know it's a kind of shrub, you know that because it's a shrub, you cannot use it with pass away, or even three names. So you might not know all three names, but when you hear a tree name and someone explains to you that this is the name of a tree, you will recognize that it cannot be used with pass away because they cannot collocate. So this is a restriction on their collocation based on what we call range. So we rely on our knowledge of the range to know which words are used together and which words do not collocate with each other. The third type of collocational restrictions is called collocational in the strictest sense. So they are just collocations. We cannot explain them by looking at range or meaning. So they involve neither meaning nor range. So although collocation is very largely determined by meaning, it sometimes cannot easily be predicted in terms of the meaning of the associated words. So the use of, for example, the word blonde with hair, the collocation blonde hair, how do we explain this? Can we explain it based on range? No, there's really no range here for hair, for example. Can we explain it based on meaning? No, we cannot. So we do not normally say a blonde door. We do not say a blonde dress, even if the door or the dress have exactly the same color as blonde hair. We use different words with door and dress. So blonde collocates with hair. When we try to explain this collocation restriction, we cannot really explain it based on meaning or range. So we just say these are collocational in the strictest sense, and they involve neither meaning nor range. Other examples like this are words for animal sounds like dog, bark, the dog barks, cat, mew, sheep, bleat, horse, neigh, and so on. So these are also examples of collocations which we cannot explain based on range or on meaning. This also can be found in an extreme form in collective words. So this is just a rare case in language, in English in particular, where we have names for particular animals, for particular groups of animals, like sheep. So we say a flock of sheep, a herd of cows. We do not say a herd of sheep. So what's the reason? Why can't we use flock with cows? Why can't we use herds with sheep? There is really no reason based on meaning or range. It's just, as we said, collocational in the strictest sense. They just collocate with each other when we cannot really explain it based on meaning. A school of whales, a pride of lions, and so on. There are many other words in English like this to refer to groups of animals. So this is another example of collocational restrictions which do not really abide by meaning or range. But does this mean that we can draw a clear line between words that we can, collocations that we can explain based on meaning, and collocations that are not explained by looking at meaning? No, there is no really clear line to distinguish between these collocations that we can predict from their meaning of the words that co-occur and those which are not predictable from the meaning of the words that co-occur and come together. So why is this? This is because that we can provide a semantic explanation for even the strictest collocations based on very particular meaning. So we can't really explain it based on general meaning. We need to think about it a bit and provide particular meaning for the reason why these collocations happen. So for example, we can account for collocations like dogs bark and cats mew, if you think about it a little bit, you might think that the word is based on the sound. So bark might sound like a dog barking, and mew might sound like a dog is mewing. So the word, the kind of noise that the animals make might explain why we use these words with them. However, that doesn't lead us to conclude that all of these restricted collocations can be explained and accounted for semantically, even if we think about them. So, if we look at words like herd and flock, how can we explain the use of herd with cows and flock with sheep? We cannot really explain it, even if we think about it. We say that the only difference is that herd is used with sheep, herd is used with cows, and flock is used with sheep. Can we really explain it based on meaning? No, we cannot. So this is it for today's lecture. I will see you inshallah in the next lecture. Hopefully you found this one interesting and useful, and inshallah I will see you next time.